Following up with my series of videos preparing for my first artist alley, 10 mistakes when creating your own prints for sale. And just to note, it's not a perfect handbook, it's more of a recollection of all the mistakes I've made along the way, so you don't have to make them. Starting with mistake number 1, not keeping your potential customers in mind when creating it. Sure, you can just print out stuff that you already made a while ago like I mostly did. I'm still proud of a lot of panels that showed up in my Webtoon and that I chose to print, and it's very handy to have so many artworks ready for print already, but that would have been such a huge missed opportunity not to craft at least one print specifically made for the public I'm trying to reach. And to do so, I asked myself, what would I be willing to buy at a con? I should note that I'm not a huge consumer, even though I really love to spend time in the artist alley, I rarely buy anything. But there's something I absolutely will spend money on if I find it, and it's a good gift. It's actually the last print I bought at a convention. It was an image of Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus, signed by the French voice actress. I knew I needed to get one for my best friend because she loves the character and the autograph you got with it was quite unique. The VO even drew a little Pomni on the back for her. It was adorable. And I got myself a Ragatha print because she's my favorite and her French voice actress is so warm and comforting. I love the voice. So of course it's easier to sell gift material when it's a fan art, but I believe there was more to it than just the art. It was the idea of being able to give a little message from the voice actress, to interact with them, to tell them that I was going to gift it to a close friend. It was a whole experience. And I don't pretend to be able to offer such a priceless moment to a customer, but I created this illustration thinking of someone who might see the Art Nouveau aesthetic and the sweet message and think of a friend of theirs that might enjoy receiving it, even though they wouldn't know anything about my characters. The goal here is to appeal to a wide public. I'm not famous enough to assume that prints of my characters alone could sell really well, yet, so that's my strategy. Mistake number 2, forcing yourself to draw outside of your niche. I'm not above fandom merch by any means. Undertale and Hamilton fan arts are basically how I learned how to draw, and it does sell easier. I just told you a story about me buying a fan art and learning a valuable lesson from it. But right now I just want to focus on my stuff and trying to figure out how to make people interested in it. Because it's possible, I know it. Lots of artists manage to pique at people's interest with their own characters. And it's fine if you only want to print Euroses. Cons are amazing for not limiting artists to anime or video games merch. Mistake number 3, typos in the text. It's not super professional. You might not see the issue right here because you're either an English-speaking individual or you looked at it for too long already to notice it. That was my case, but there's an S missing here. And also the font doesn't have any accent, which is fine, but I still ended up drawing one myself later on for more clarity. Mistake number 4, not trying enough different formats. Just like in my sticker video, variety is nice to look at. Plus, it allows you to think creatively around the formatting issue that comes with a Webtoon, if that's your case. It's painfully vertical, and prints are usually slight rectangles. But you know what else requires a vertical format? Bookmarks. So I chose 2 of my most immersive and pretty elongated backgrounds to do so. They're also the ones that I spend the most time on. This one took me at least a full week of work, and this one was redrawn and recolored twice along 3 years of me creating concept arts for my comic. So even if no one buys it, they have a special place in my heart. And they're double-sided. That's my only product like this for now, which has its own set of issues. They're also going to be my cheapest product, I think, since the paper isn't as expensive as the other prints or my stickers. They'll be a nice affordable option. I think it goes with the variety theme to have a good range of prices as well. I'm all for paying artists fairly, even too much preferably, but we can't expect that from everyone. Mistake number 5, not aligning precisely the front and the back when printing double-sided. It wouldn't be as much of a pain if it wasn't homemade, I guess, but since I'm handling the double-sided printing myself, I had to make sure that 1, the 2 files were precisely aligned in the PDF, and 2, that the printer didn't move out the sheet slightly to the left or the right during the process. Fortunately, it didn't happen that much, but you can see here that one side is perfectly cutted, not an awkward white outline, it's all good. But then you turn it over and there's half of another drawing on the back. Sure, I could have left extra art around the cutting area, but I wanted to rely on a clean border for the cutting process. You have to choose your battles. And speaking of cutting, mistake number 6, thinking you're above fancy equipment. I know it's cheaper to keep on using an old cutter and a broken ruler. Trust me, it was my speech whenever I would be advised to change my tools, also because I don't like change very much when it comes to my artistic habits. But frankly, that paper trimmer is a game changer. A lot less pain in the wrists and hands, more precise, quicker, more efficient overall. And efficiency you're going to need some if you have a heavy stock of print to get through. Plus it's really satisfying to use. You kinda understand why we never went back to an axe once we invented the guillotine. Also, the French word for paper trimmer is massicoteuse, and it's not funny, I don't know, moving on. Mistake number 7, not using the right paper. You think your cheap printer is the problem? Wrong! It's the paper. Please use photo paper just once for your prints and you'll understand the difference it makes. The colors are super shiny and vibrant, the texture is nice. Usually it's gonna be more resistant and solid than classic paper sheets. I couldn't recommend it enough. It has its cons though, which we'll see in the next mistake. Mistake number 8, printing on the wrong side of your photo paper. That's the biggest downside. With that kind of paper, the ink will only stick to one side. At least the type I bought. Maybe you've heard of double-sided photo paper, let me know. Because look at this mess, it's like a washed out 2018 AI rendition of the actual drawing. It was just a test, by the way. At first I thought the paper was an absolute fail, so I tried it again, and then I noticed that it was on the wrong side. Congrats, you dumbass. Mistake number 9, not signing it somewhat beforehand and having to do it by hand afterward. It can be a personal choice to add a little handwritten detail, and that was my intention at first, but frankly I'm regretting it a little bit. I hope my customers will appreciate the effort. And mistake number 10, not having the right storage for your prints. Even with the heaviest paper, sheets are still fragile, and you'd better store them in a resistant folder, especially when traveling from one place to another. For now I'm using this large plastic folder that is not adapted to my bookmarks at all. They're all just flying around and living their best life on top of all my prints, but at least they're protected. At first I was just leaving some sheets here and there. It wasn't the best. Anyway, that's it for today. At the moment where I'm recording this, the con is coming really soon and I'm really excited. I'll see you in the next video. Au revoir!